All right, what's going on? Brian at Brandspin here, and today I want to talk about marketing automation. Specifically, the top 3 ways you should be automating your business. Now, if you're not doing any of these or not attempting it, honestly, you're missing out, because we live in a world right now where automation is what your customers are after. They want a personalized, custom journey, and automation will give that to you. Now, you might be thinking, well, isn't automation just a fancy word for me signing up and getting on a newsletter list? Yes and no. Those are the horrible examples of how companies use automation. We've all done it. You go to a company website, you sign up, and then you just get boring old newsletters, and that's really it. That's not the way we want to do automation, okay? So I'm going to run you through 3 ways. We're going to talk about lead generation. We're going to talk about essentially what your sales pipeline needs to look like, and then we're going to talk about after you close them and after they become a customer, then what do you do, okay? Because a spoiler alert, they're not done when they become a customer. We have more work to do, all right? So let's dive in real quick, okay? Lead generation. This is essentially the old way. You sign up, you get added to a newsletter list. This kind of way down here, which I'm going to go through each one, this is how I want you to start thinking about how to automate your business, okay? If you have any questions about this, at the end, schedule a brainstorm session with us. We'll walk you through it and help you choose the systems and even help you figure out which lead magnet is best for you, okay? Now, with lead generation, I've got just obviously sign up for value, but you can automate the lead generation on really anything. Social media, Facebook, Messenger, that can be automated to go into a CRM system like this, as an actual system that's designed. Your contact us form. Generally, they sign it, they fill it out, you get an email saying someone submitted a contact, and that's it. But instead, what you can do after we go through this, you can start thinking about it a little bit differently, okay? For example, someone signs up for something of value on your website, okay? It's not always just, hey, more information on this product. I wouldn't really recommend doing that, even though sometimes you have to. But instead, try to flip that script a little bit, okay? Instead of just more information on the product, how about a free trial? How about a sample? How about see it in action, right? Do something a little bit more interactive and a little bit more fun that's going to excite that prospect to want to sign up. Once they've done that, you want to deliver this value. And here, this is supposed to be a phone. I don't know if you can tell by my horrible illustration. But when you deliver value, often many companies just send it and hope it gets there. Well, what happens if they don't open it? What if you're tracking that and you see that, hey, this person requested it, they haven't opened it, they haven't downloaded it, they haven't viewed it, so they haven't signed up for the free trial yet, I'm going to send another email. If it's important enough and the product merits that, maybe you even give them a call. You have a sales rep, or you yourself, you call them and you say, hey, listen, I saw a few days ago you requested this. Doesn't look like you've taken action, so I wanted to follow up. That's assuming you have a phone number. We can get into that a little bit later on things, because typically really you have name and email, so you might not always be able to do that, but you can send a personal email. You can do a lot of this stuff. Now, this is also what's really cool. You can do these as branded emails to deliver this value, but yeah, when it comes time for this one, it could be more of a plain text email that comes from you. The system sends it out, okay? But you can do this at scale. This means you don't have to be monitoring this every step of the way. The system is. So it recognizes if somebody has not opened and viewed this email, has not taken action. From there, you want to start giving them more value for free. Okay? Notice how we are not talking about buying anything. We are not talking about closing. We'll get to that here shortly. But what we want to be doing is, okay, this is product A, right? So whatever value you delivered here has to do with your product or service A, right? You might have A, B, or C, okay? So this is A, and now this is going to be a segment value sequence talking more about product A, okay? And that's what we really want to do, because this isn't always enough to make somebody take the next step with you. Often, you're going to have to add more value here, add more emails, add more content. Maybe you gave them a free trial here. Now you want to give them a PDF here that walks them through how to do, certain actions, right? The sky's the limit. Again, we will help you figure this out. If you want to book a call, just do it and we'll help you walk through it. But when you segment this out, what's really going to be important is that on average it takes 5 to 7 times for you to have someone take the next step, okay? So you might need more emails, more text messages, more things, but during this, based on their behavior, what they're clicking on, the times they're opening the emails, their location, you can segment. So you start creating lists, okay? You might have a US list, a Canada list, a Europe list. You might have a male, female. You might have, hey, these people like it in the mornings, afternoon, evenings to open their emails. Those are all data points that you can do. Aside from the obvious, hey, this person is interested in product A, B, or C, those are all ways to segment. You cannot treat people like they're all the same. You can't have thousands of people in a database and send them all one email or treat them all the same. It doesn't work. We're looking for more, okay? Trust me. I'm not lying to you. This is just the way it is. Once that happens, you can even take it a step further with automation, and you can then implement pixels and tracking and retargeting for ads, for videos, social media stuff, mailers, whatever you want to do. You can start creating these custom audiences after you've segmented them out. So now, instead of just a sign up to a newsletter in which you have really no data and nobody's really interested in this crap, you can now say, we're going to give you something of value. We're going to deliver that value. We're going to get to know you and ask more questions, and then we're going to show you more things that are relevant to you. That's a custom, personalized journey, and that's really what you need to be doing, okay? So obviously some examples: PDF, video series, webinars, free trials, free samples, those kind of things. All very, very standard. They all work very well. Webinars perform great. You can do a lot of stuff with video, infographics, anything that can add value and show someone how to solve their problem. You're a problem solver. You're not a company at this point. You're a problem solver. And that's the mindset you have to get into. So stop thinking like this and start thinking like this, okay? So that covers a little bit of lead generation. Now let's go in and let's cover more of the sales pipeline, how to get them closed and how to move them through the stages. All right, so now we covered some lead generation. We have them in the pipeline. They're getting the content that they asked for, okay? They're absorbing that and the system is working them. Now, let's go into the sales stages. You don't have to have a dedicated sales team on the phones all day long to need a sales pipeline, a sales stage, right? Any lead needs to go through this. So they're in there, we got them in the lead generation. They're essentially a lead, okay? Now they're not really a prospect in my eyes until they actually get to the warm lead, but let's start here. So they've come in, they've absorbed whatever free content you have, or they haven't, whatever the case is, they're now a lead. Most all will start as a cold lead. I don't consider necessarily a PDF download to be a warm lead. I need them to do something else. Now, this is all going to be very, very much company specific. So if you're selling a $7 product, we want this to be super fast, and then maybe they would be a warm lead if they downloaded something. If you're selling a $7,000 product, or in my case, I used to actually run a sales team back before I started this company where we sold multi-million-dollar data centers, the sales process is longer. Okay, it's more in depth. You have to talk to a lot of people, a lot of red tape, a lot of hurdles to jump over, and you need a sales pipeline with sales stages to work through that. You'll be amazed at how many companies that we work with where we'll go in and say, okay, what's your process like? When you guys have leads, what do you do? Usually we'll get answers like, hey, we get a notification email, we try to send them an email, and then we try to call them, and then that's really it. That's really bad, okay? Because what you're doing is you're losing leads, okay? Most leads are not ready to buy when they first contact you, and it's going to take a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of education, and you becoming the authority and the trusted figure in doing that, okay? You have to be able to deliver. That's the biggest thing in any business. With us as a marketing company, if we cannot deliver, you get your money back, okay? We're that confident in what we do, but what this is so starts as a lead, cold lead, okay? Inside of this cold lead stage, again, this is all automated. You can have emails, you can have touch points, you can continue to reach out to them, and every stage, so let's say this one is a target of 10 days, okay? And your warm lead is a target of 7 days, okay? So when you develop a sales pipeline, like I just gave the example of if you sell a $7 product or a $7,000 product, your stages are going to be different, okay? So if we do 10 days, your target to get them out of a cold lead in 10 days or less. You want to move them from cold lead to warm lead. So how do you do that? Well, you can have automation in place with ads. You can have automation in place with emails, SMS text messages, voicemails, different value you're sending, sales reps calling. Everything is trying to get them to move here. Now, they're obviously staying in cold lead until that happens. So your stage is a cold lead. You can easily log into a CRM, log into a system. You can pull up all the people that are in cold leads. And you can quickly and easily figure out who's there. Same thing with warm leads. When they take a different action, maybe you've reached them and they've responded via phone or email. Maybe they said, yeah, I'm interested, I'm still thinking about it, okay? They move into the warm lead, all right? Same thing here. You have different actions based on what your business, your product or service is and how it needs to be sold, okay? So it's a little hard to illustrate, this process a little, more in depth because it's going to be really specific to you. So like I said, just set up a brainstorm session. Let's talk through it and I'll help you design what this sales stage is going to look like, okay? So after warm lead, you basically have two outcomes, right? Closed won, closed lost. Now, so many people, so many companies, when you hit closed lost, that's it, you're done. Sayonara, people cry, they say bye, and they never get to you again. But that's really the wrong way. I never, ever, ever consider a lead as lost until they basically tell you, screw off, I hate you. Okay? So from closed lost, they're not ready to buy right now. They went through, maybe it's 17 days. On the 18th day, we mark them as closed lost. We haven't been able to get in touch with them and we add them into a nurture. Now I call this more of a long-term nurture because you're still delivering value. You're still going to be trying to reach out. Maybe it's not every day. Maybe it's not as frequent as they've seen so far from the lead generation through cold and warm lead stages. That's okay. Actually, they would never see warm lead. They'd only be cold into nurture. But it's not going to be as fast. Maybe it's once a week or once every other week. Don't ever do once a month. That doesn't do anything. At least be communicating every other week with your list. Everybody on your list, whether it's customers, prospect, doesn't matter. Communicate at least once every 2 weeks, and that's even stretching it, okay? So close lost means you haven't made a sale. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean they're not going to know somebody that does want to come to you. It doesn't mean they're not going to come to you later. Always re-nurture, always add them into something else. This whole process is really never over, okay? And then even when this is done, the nurture is done, loop them back around, start the nurture over. I have built nurture sequences for clients that last 2 years. It's a lot of work, but once they're done, they can loop back around. If they haven't done anything in 2 years, there's really no hope for them. But you can do these for 2 days, you can do these for 2 years, okay? But loop them back around so they stay in it, okay? And then this particular stage can be close, lost, nurture. So you can easily pull up people that are tagged or marked as close, lost, nurture and still be able to find them. If they're closed won, obviously, yay, celebrate, okay? You landed a new client, now you have to deliver, okay? So just remember, when you're doing a sales stage, stop thinking linear progression the whole time, okay? Start thinking about different avenues that people can go with. If they've done this but haven't done this, if they're cold or warm, but they opened this email or they responded to this text, excuse me, make sure that you have a really custom catered system, okay? So that's sales stages, that's automating that process. Now let's talk about more how to deliver once they become a customer, because they're not done yet. Okay, on this last stage, they have bought. They are a customer, congratulations. Now, most of the time, you will see people, money, they get their money. Who's the customer again? That happens, think like when you buy a car, right? They're your best friend until you drive off that lot and then you never hear from that particular salesperson again. It infuriates me, so now I buy cars a totally different way now. So that's something that anyone in the car industry can learn from watching this video. Don't do this crap, all right? Follow up, learn about your customers, know them and remember them, and you can use automation to help you do that. So, in my way, basically, is they become a customer, okay? Now they've paid you money. Obviously, you have to deliver. I sound like a broken record when I say that, but I'm all about creating good products and good services that actually deliver and solve a problem, okay? You're a solution provider, don't forget that. So once you deliver, you want to follow up and you want to remember them. Okay, there's lots of ways to do that as well. You can collect the data from previous efforts, from the lead gen, from the sales cycle. If you know their wife's name, record that somewhere. If you know their kids' names, their dogs' names, record that somewhere. That way you can follow up saying, hey, how's your dog Charlie doing? How's the product that we sold you, right? How is all that working for you, okay? Be a resource. Continue to be that resource, and I guarantee you it's going to do wonders. You can follow up, and this can be days, weeks, months, years, it doesn't matter. Again, cater it to your business and we can help you do that, okay? So when you follow up, you can quickly learn if they're happy or they're not happy, because not everyone's going to leave you a review. So you can actually, okay, if they're not happy, so happy, no, you can reach out, and that can fire off something immediately to a manager or you or the owner, whatever, to reach out personally and say, hey, listen, I see you're not happy. What could we have done better? That goes a long way, okay? Because how companies deal with problems says a lot about them, because not everyone's going to get it right. Not everyone gets it right the first time. People make mistakes. We make mistakes. We don't always get it right the first time. We have to own up to it. We have to make it right, okay? So if they are happy, then of course they move down to the referrals. Each one of these boxes, by the way, there's things inside the boxes. There's emails, there's follow-ups, there's timers, there's automation taking place inside each box. These are just showing you that like the 30,000 foot view stages. But if they are happy, you can ask for referrals. Okay? If they're not happy, you don't want to do this. Now, I see a lot of people doing this wrong. They just deliver, and then a couple weeks later, they ask for a referral. But they don't know if that person liked or is using their product at all. Because if you ask for a referral and someone's not happy, they're more inclined to leave you a negative review, even if they weren't going to leave you that in the first place. So think about that, okay? Be really, really methodical with how you're doing these processes, okay? So they're happy, they go down, yes, they get the referrals. Now, I've got the 80-20. If you know what that means, that is 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. That means once somebody is a customer, they're more likely to buy from you. So this is where you start the stages of following up with additional products, upselling them, cross-selling them. Hey, you bought this nice new truck from us. We got this awesome sale on wheels. You could probably really enjoy those on your truck, right? Or hey, we bought, you have this service. Now we just actually expanded it to now offer this. Okay, now's the time to do that. Make sure that you followed up. Make sure you have delivered on your first product or service before you ask them to buy anything else, okay? So I hope this helps. I know it's really kind of broad, but that's what I want. I want you to start thinking about it and kind of get those wheels turning, and then schedule a brainstorm session with us. Let's go over your plan. Let's make sure it's gonna work. We'll help you answer any questions and get this actually in play so you can put automation into your business. It's actually a lot less expensive than you might think. And the results, I have never seen a negative ROI when doing automation right. Never, ever, ever. And I can guarantee that, okay? So if you do it right, you're going to make your money back and then some, and your business is going to grow, but you're not going to have to spend more time doing it. All right? So that's all for right now. Hope this helped. Again, schedule a session if you want to. Check out our blog. I'm going to go over more in depth in the blog on how to do this kind of stuff, a little bit more step-by-steps. And then I'll try to shoot a couple more of these videos and help you out, okay? Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.